Hi there, welcome to Taurus-Some Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Taurus energy, and like usual on this channel we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Taurus energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Taurus energy. We all have our dualistic nature, so some people could be battling within themselves, trying to make a decision. High vibe energy is about, kind of like you're ready to free yourself from something that kind of manipulates you, or you're motivated and inspired to live your life differently, have come into some insight and understanding, gotten clarity about what your truth is versus what your truth isn't, and at different times in our life, it's just about growing and maturing ourselves and getting clear about what our truth is. And some people are struggling within themselves right now to make a decision. Other people are, we've picked a path. We're either aligned with our more hopeful, believing, loving nature, or we still could be more aligned with our worldly nature. And then there's some people so that would be more worldly Taurus energy. But some people harness shadowy Taurus energy. And it's all about themselves or their ego or their image, and they have their own philosophy of life, and it isn't truth and love and justice and fairness or character and integrity. And we just need to see the truth about the different people that we're dealing with in the world. Who's on the same page as us? Whose life's about learning lessons? Who's learned some of the same lessons we've learned about how to work cooperatively with people in a just and fair and loving way? And who hasn't? So, the reason for the top row's reading is rest and rejuvenation. Kind of reminds me of a Four of Swords card where we're healing and meditating on the truth. And the reason for the bottom row's reading is the thinking man, which is kind of like a King of Swords energy. Where we could live more from our mind than our heart, doing what seems logical and practical. But shadowy energy can mean that we're repeating an old pattern because we haven't healed. There's some healing from past pain and heartbreak, healing self-limiting beliefs, having hope and faith and belief in our dreams. And maybe some people are in that energy, and we can have some people in the world, some people in our life, some people in our workplace that haven't healed in some way. With life being about learning lessons, we all view life the way we view it. And that's our truth at that point in time. And sometimes we've learned some life lessons that some other people haven't. But we could be tempted to keep staying in relationship with them, being friends with them, being in employment with them, because, well, let's go look at why. So, in the bottom row can be where we'd rather just stay in our comfort zone, because then, we don't even have to reflect on the truth. We can just I'm good. Let's stay right here. Let's keep living my life like this. So, we have a card not showing itself. Then we have the envy card, the man holding heart, the journey card, and the sun card. There might be things we would like to do and things we would like to take action on, and we'd like to go on this journey and have this new beginning. High vibe King of Cups, man holding heart. It could be our intuition could be calling us, and the man holding heart, the kings or the masculine energies can represent how we like to present ourselves in the world, and the feminine figures can reflect how we really think and feel. There's a part of us that doesn't want to have to see the truth, where we just stay in denial of the truth. But we could be kind of envious of some other people who are taking action, having hope and faith and belief and love and listening to their intuition, who are going on this journey and having a new beginning. But then we would have to get clear about our truth, and we'd have to speak our truth, and we'd have to take action in truth. We'd have to cut certain things out of our life. We'd have to heal. And because of that, We could have people in our life that we have love for. We'd like to move forward with them in our life. But we could feel that the way we're living our life and the people we're moving forward with or the job that we have, that it's not quite aligned with our truth. By worldly standards, it might look good. If we kept living our life that way, people would still view us as maybe this loving person, loving family person, that we're going on this journey that by worldly standards makes practical, logical sense. The Sun card can mean, that it looks like people are moving forward in a victorious way, like they've gotten the justice they deserve. But if we're feeling like we're not moving forward in a more healed manner, in a more balanced manner, in a more authentic manner, it can cause us, in the envy card, some mental conflict. And then it can be hard, though, if this job, this friendship, this relationship, or this way that I'm living my life, am I willing to speak my truth? Am I willing to stand up for what I believe in? The Sun can talk about illuminating the truth. For some people, they're not going to do that because they would have to illuminate the truth. And if they're in a situation where people view them as a very victorious, successful person, that maybe the way they live their life and who they align with in their life, that this, shadowy energy can be about having created this illusion of how wonderful and happy I am in my life, and the way I'm living my life is living the dream. And they could even have people who seem to be envious of them, like the things that they have a lot of people would want that. But the whole thing are they being authentic? High vibe energy is about being authentic, being more independent of your more worldly, egoic nature. Is our goal just to have other people envy us? For some people it is. Some people want this certain status and image, and they do live more from their mind than their heart. And sometimes the masculine energy can represent that people are operating more from their egoic nature. And some people that, in our shadow nature, we are more about our pride and our ego, and we want people to be, some people want people to be jealous of them. Look what I have. Look who I'm in a relationship with. And for some people, that's their truth. That's what makes them feel empowered. Other people are living their authentic life, and they're not taking action more out of pride and ego or wanting people to envy them or be jealous of them. That's not the driving factor. It's like, I want to live my authentic life. And some shadowy people know that people are living their life like that, and they're kind of jealous and envious of them because those people aren't manipulated by their pride and their ego and their fear or their insecurity or their codependency. And those people really are living their authentic life. And they really are speaking their truth. But some other people in the world, Taurus energy is about our philosophy of life and, what drives and motivates us. And some people in their Taurus energy are more about the world and the ego and the image and the status. And that's what's most important to them. And they could know some loving people that are going, aren't manipulated by those things. I view, with the thinking man being like the King of Swords, sometimes I view that as a person's self-protective nature. I have to conform to the world. I have all these fears about people judging me. I don't want to be authentically myself. I derive my sense of worth and value based on how I think other people view me. And so I don't live my authentic life. I don't really stand up for what I believe in and what really maybe drives and motivates me authentically, and do what I really love and hang out with people I really love and that motivate and inspire me to be myself, because I'm afraid of that. There's some people right now taking some action in the world just because they're mad that other people weren't willing to stay in a relationship with them and live their life like this. They were jealous that other people did this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves, to get balance within themselves, to offer themselves. I view high vibe Leo energy as offering yourself like love and compassion, forgiveness to get more balanced. We can all have gotten in a relationship with people or taken a job because we wanted to be in a relationship. We wanted a job. We wanted to have what other people wanted. And maybe the people that we really would have liked to have been in a relationship with, maybe those people weren't in our life. And we wanted to have what other people had. And we could look at the envy card maybe as being in our fear and our insecurity, in our shadowy nature. Maybe our more codependent nature. I want what other people have. I want those things. And so sometimes we could have gotten in jobs and friendships and relationships with people because it did seem practical and logical. And if we were both people at that point in time that maybe hadn't come into our own and being more hopeful and believing in ourselves and willing to stand up for ourselves, and we had lessons to learn. We could have gotten in relationships with people and everybody could have seemed, at their stage of life that they were in, presented themselves as these grounded, stable, balanced, loving people, and that they were willing to go on this journey with us. But if during the process of that relationship, one person does do this inner work within themselves to start healing and growing and maturing themselves, and then they would have offered the people they were in a relationship with love to have them move forward with them in this new way, to come up here and be more independent and to heal and grow with them. Sometimes some people in our life are resistant to that because it would require them to deal with some ways of how they view life. What do they think is just and fair? How do they view relationships? What do they think is just and fair in a relationship? And if some people that we could have been in a relationship are like, I do maybe operate more from my ego nature, whether they're male or female. I do live a little bit more from my mind and my heart instead, and I'm just maybe not ready to deal with the truth. There could be some things in my foundation that I do need to heal from, but if we're not willing to speak our truth, do this work within ourselves, to love and believe in ourselves and be inspired to live life differently, we're going to keep living life the way we've been living it. So let's go see what this card here. We can get in relationships with people and we can have a lot of commonality with them. We're from the same town, we're from the same, have a lot of similar belief systems about life and how we view life and how we view relationships. Do we want to get married? Do we not want to get married? All Taurus energy represents all these different institutions of the world and things like our race and our religion, how we were brought up. So we can have a lot of commonality with people, but sometimes we do get in a mismatched relationship where one person is operating more from their shadowy energy and the other person does have hope and faith and belief and love. Kind of like our truth is different. And how we expected to move forward in a relationship and how we thought it was going to play out could be different. One person could have thought it's more about getting in a relationship because it makes it look like I've had a new beginning. It looks like I've moved forward in this just and fair way, that I've had victory and success. And it's a little bit more about the ego or the image. And the other person could have thought, I thought we were going to go on this journey together to grow and heal and mature ourselves to kind of grow to our full potential. And that as time goes by in the relationship, we can realize that in our Taurus energy, we had different ways of viewing life, different ways of viewing relationships, different ideas of what we thought was just and fair, different things that motivated us. And it could have to do with this card that, we get in relationships with people and we think, oh, they view life the way I view life. And then we realize that we could harness this energy differently. Indecision in reverse. So the indecision card is like the Two of Swords, Libra energy. Some people do listen to love and intuition to guide them, and other people could reject that. I live more from my mind than my heart. I've listened to my intuition before and things didn't work out the way I wanted, so now I don't listen to my intuition, because if I listened to my intuition before and it didn't work out the way I wanted, I had the opportunity to deal with the truth, to meditate on the truth of why that didn't work out. And the reason why, when we listen to our intuition, it doesn't, which is a good thing to listen to your intuition. I think we're drawn and attracted to certain people because we have lessons to learn from them. And it's to help us get clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And when we go and we have lessons to learn, we go get in relationships with people, and we meet people who might have some shadowy traits and characteristics, might be more about ego and image, might be envious or jealous, manipulative people. Is that our truth or isn't it our truth? And the whole process of the experience could have been to illuminate us to get clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And for some people, they had situations where things didn't work out the way they wanted, and they learned the truth. Okay, if certain people have certain traits and characteristics, ways of being in the world, that I've already been in relationship with people who are like that, and I know I don't like being in relationship with people who are like that, well, then I've seen the truth. But the thing is, we always have lessons to learn. And some people maybe hadn't dealt with someone like the next person they could have been drawn and attracted to. They were still people who were listening maybe to their intuition, but they could have gotten in a relationship with someone who doesn't. So it's kind of, again, listening to your intuition could be, in high vibe, I am willing to go on this journey to learn these lessons, to explore this opportunity. And then we realize that we're in a relationship with someone who lives more from their mind than their heart. And even though their intuition could tell them, you have these fears or these insecurities, you want these things in the world, but they're unwilling to go on this journey listening to love and intuition to guide them. So then they are letting more of their fears or their insecurity or their pride or their ego dictate the decisions they make in their life. So we can meet people who seem like they're these loving family people, that they're these balanced people, and we could think, oh my gosh, we're on the same page. I want to be in relationships with people who seem like these loving family people, who seem very just and fair and balanced. But the whole thing is, we get down to that core foundational factor. Do you have hope and faith and belief in love, or do you not? Are you going to take action more out of your fear or your insecurity or your pride or your ego than let love and intuition guide you? And that could have been a lesson that some people were meant to learn from some people they got into a relationship with. Could the relationship have worked if both people were willing to offer themselves love and compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes they've made, and have some hope and faith and belief in love, and, see how they could live more from their mind and their heart and a little bit more from their egoic nature than their loving nature? Yeah. But everybody has that free will choice. And some of the people in our life are going to move forward with us in this new beginning, and there could be one or more people or just people in the world around us who aren't going to move forward with us in that way. Because either they're not listening to their intuition for some, and they still have lessons to learn about listening to their intuition and taking a leap of faith. And some people are like, no, I don't even care if I'm attracted to those people. I don't, if my intuition is leading me there, like I don't even trust myself anymore. And I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to keep operating from my more worldly egoic nature and make these type of decisions instead. That's for some of the people in our life. But there's other people in our life who have picked a path. They're not confused either. It's just that the path that they picked is aligning with their more worldly, egoic, prideful, operating from their ego nature. And we have to see the truth of that too. Everybody has free will. Some people are kind of still going back and forth, but other people have picked a path. They're not confused about their truth. They're going to make their life more about the things of the world or being defensive or being about themselves. That is their truth. Other people have picked, I have hope in faith and belief in love. I'm not going to let my ego run my life. I'm not going to let my fear and insecurity run my life. I'm not going to try to manipulate people into going on a journey with me just because I want these things in the world, but I'm not being truthful and honest, or to be in a relationship with someone because it makes practical and logical sense when it's not my truth. So we got to realize there's people who aren't confused. The high vibe people aren't confused. They do want truth and love and justice and fairness and character and integrity, and to grow to their full potential and be in loving, nurturing, warm relationships. Other people are like, I'm just going to try to manipulate someone who's like that into being in a relationship with me. Or I'm going to go try to find someone who's on the same page as me, who does make their life more about indulgence or defensiveness or ego or materialism. And that's my truth. And by worldly standards, when you look at different people in the world, everybody can look like they've have these wonderful, successful, loving lives. But do they? Until you really get to know the truth of why people are doing what they're doing, and some people you intuitively can tell. I think these people are more about ego and image and money and materialism. I don't even know if these people like each other. But it works because, they're on the same page. And that's a just and fair relationship. If they both view life the same way, and they're at a core foundational level, in their Taurus energy, what's most important is just to be in a relationship. Will you be in a relationship with me? Yes. Perfect. We're good. Neither one of us wants to heal. Neither one of us wants to illuminate the truth. Neither one of us maybe wants to be more authentic in the world. We prefer to conform to the world or make our life more about the ego or the image or indulgence or defensiveness. I found someone who's on the same page as me. Perfect. Well, that's a just and fair relationship. It's an injustice for someone who knows that their way of viewing life is not the same as some of the people they try to get in a relationship with, but they try to present themselves as being that type of person. And then they can hope that if they get that person in a relationship to go on this journey and this new beginning with them, they're hoping that even when that person finds out the truth that, oh, it wasn't love and it isn't growing to our full potential, the reason you wanted to be in it is emotionally more because of the world. And now that I got in it, and the Queen of Pentacles can mean that people could have gotten married or just that they got in a relationship or they took that job. Well, now that I see the truth that you aren't who you presented yourself as, well, now I'm kind of in my ego about getting out of it And I could be a very loving, nurturing person, is what the Queen of Pentacles can represent. People in their emotional nature. And then they hope, and I do view the Queen, this is like the Queen of Pentacles, as Taurus energy. I've had people put a lot of work and effort to trying to make a relationship work. You know, they have hope and faith and belief in this dream that eventually people will see the light. That people will choose love. People will grow up and mature themselves. People will heal. And that they can have this dream to come into reality. And some people count on that. I'm going to try to get someone who has hope and faith and belief in love. I'm going to try to present myself as being high vibe so that they'll get in a relationship with me or work here. And then I'm hoping once they get in the job or the relationship, that even when they see the truth, you know, that they won't leave. And they'll keep putting in work and effort to make it work. And the other people are like, yep, I'm counting on that. Are you going to put in a lot of work and effort to make this work? That works for me. As long as you keep putting in work and effort to make it works for me. It's good for my ego. It's good for my image. Some of the people just want to be in a relationship with someone because some other people that were in their life loved and believed in themselves, and those people are moving on. And they know those people are loving, just, fair, balanced, nurturing, loyal, committed people. They want to look like they have what those people have. But they're trying to manipulate other people. I'm in my ego. That's shadowy energy. I'm in my ego. I'm in my ego. I'm jealous that those other people healed and loved and believed in themselves to kind of go to the next phase of life. I want to go find someone to get in a relationship with because I want to look like I have what those people have, or I want to look like I'm that type of person. And then there's some people in the world that see people moving forward in what appears to be this just and fair and loving relationship. And they want that. So then there's shadowy people who try to tempt people in their more worldly nature of pride and ego and image and status or their lust or greed. And they're envious and they're like, I want that. Get rid of the person you're in a relationship with and you should go on a journey with me. And then they try to present themselves as this loving, just and fair person that I want to have this new beginning with you. I should be able to stop you in my shadowy Taurus energy. Emotionally, I have these things of the world that I'm going to use to try to get you to stop moving forward with the people you're in a relationship with. And that could have, you know, we can all be tempted at any given moment in our life. You could have been in some relationships with people who were tempted emotionally to want to indulge in these things in the world, to emotionally indulge themselves, be in their ego, be shadowy, be bossy, be controlling. They didn't choose truth and love and justice and fairness. And then they probably have some people in their life who live their life like that are happy they live their life like that, want them to keep living their life like that. The Queen of Pentacles can represent their emotional nature themselves. It kind of got to the place where they really had to consider in their Taurus energy what their truth was. I have loving people I could move forward with, but in order to move forward with them, I do have to incorporate some truth into my philosophy of life that maybe wasn't there before. And maybe it has to do with healing, being more just and fair, you know, because I'm viewing the rest and rejuvenation card like the Four of Swords, which is Libra energy, and this card is the King of Swords, which is Libra energy. Everybody can have their ideas of what they kind of think is just and fair in a relationship. And in a more worldly or kind of shadowy way, it could be that instead of respecting what everybody brings to the table in a relationship or a workplace, treating everybody like everybody should be treated like I want to be treated. Shadowy energy can kind of be that they value what they bring to the table more, and that they should be deferred to a little bit, and they think that's just and fair. In the workplace, in the family dynamic, in friendship groups, in romantic relationships, because shadowy Taurus energy is kind of a little bit more of a transactional relationship. We all want these things of the world. Taurus is earth sign energy. We'd all like to have stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life. We'd all like to be in relationships. We'd all like to have a job. And there's some people who think that if they, in their mind anyway, think that what they bring to the table is more important, or in their mind they just think that they're the most important person in the place. Sometimes they have this philosophy that they should be kind of more deferred to. It's kind of like, we don't, usually I associate it with Aquarius energy, but, you know, where everybody else should put aside their pride and ego in the relationship, but never them, because they're kind of like the shining star. I guess we could maybe look at the Journey card as kind of an Aquarius energy. You know, what's my dream? How did I want this to move forward? And some people don't want to see the truth that this is how they view life and this is how they view relationships. That they might be kind of petty, envious, jealous people who have some growing up and maturing to do. They like to present themselves as loving people. They want all these things that other people have in the world, but they're just a little prideful and egotistical and maybe a little full of themselves. And that's how they view the workplace and friendships and relationships. And that's their idea, in a shadowy way, of what they think is just and fair. And then people get work for them, get in friendships and relationships with them, and they're trying to be in a nurturing, loving, authentic, warm, where people in high vibe Taurus energy walk the talk. You present yourself as being this type of person, then that's who we should be, authentically. And then we see the truth that it's kind of more just a false mask that they wear. That's how they present themselves as being, but the truth is, in their shadowy Taurus energy, you know, it's kind of like turning their back to moving forward in the world. Nope, I'm good right here. This is my truth. However it is that I view life, however I view myself, however I view others, what drives and motivates me, this is how I'm going to live my life. And I think you should want to stay in a relationship with me or stay in this job. I think it's just and fair. I think I act in this just and fair way, but other people don't think it's just and fair. You know, you're kind of a little fake or superficial or bossy or controlling or more about the ego and image. What about love? What about acting with character and integrity authentically? Not just because you want to have a certain image or status, or being in a relationship because it's good for your ego and your image and your status, or you have someone to indulge yourself in a relationship. Why are we in this damn relationship? Some people saw the truth and they weren't going to stay stuck in a relationship with someone who lives their life like that. And some people left. They saw the truth. They were illuminated to the truth. The truth sets us free. High vibe people came into contact, like we do in the world, with people who at one time we could have viewed them as someone we wanted to marry, someone we did marry, someone we did work for. We thought this dream was going to come into reality, but then we were illuminated to the truth that the way they view relationships is different, and what they think is just and fair is different than what we think is just and fair. And we were illuminated to the truth. This isn't aligned with my truth. And I'm going to see the truth, and I'm going You know, like that one last time you offer people love and encouragement. Do you want to move forward with me in this way or not? Are you willing to speak the truth, illuminate the truth, be more just and fair? Come up here with me and let's go to this next phase of life. Let's heal. Let's incorporate something new, some new way of viewing life or ourselves or the world around us or how we view relationships into our philosophy of life, of how we make decisions in our life. Because Taurus energy, represented by the Hierophant, it dictates the decisions we make. The Hierophant of Taurus energy is like the Supreme Court law of the land within ourself. We all live life. We've all experienced different things. We all make these choices about what our truth is, what we think is just and fair, what we believe in, what we don't believe in. And high vibe people try to help other people see the truth. That it is about love. Love is the answer. Love is supposed to be just and fair. Not just the appearance of being just and fair. Not trying to get people to work for you or be in a relationship with you just because you want to be in a relationship. Just because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Just for the money or the status or the image. You're supposed to be authentically a loving, warm, giving, supportive person in truth and love and justice and fairness and balance, treating other people the way you like to be treated. But some people, they might like to be in relationships, love to maybe be in relationships, but I don't know, it's like they're not seeing the bigger picture. And this, they could think everybody lives life like that. Well, this makes practical, logical sense. You know, we want to have what other people have, right? Well, is that why we're doing it? Is because you're jealous and envious? What about love? Well, I think we get along good enough. You know, we have a lot of commonality. Anyway, high vibe people saw the truth of some places, of some people they were working with. Some people just now are seeing the truth. You know, and the whole thing is, with the indecision card, we're all ready to see the truth when we're ready to speak the truth. And for a long time, we'll put a lot of work and effort into something to make it work because we don't want to see the truth. Because if we were to really see the truth, so shadowy energy can kind of be wanting to stay in denial of the truth. And we put a lot of work and effort to make it work, to maintain balance in the relationship. But then we could end up realizing that we're the only ones putting in work and effort to temper our egoic nature, to be more just and fair and balanced in the relationship. And other people aren't doing that. They are operating more from their defensive egoic nature, refusing to deal with the truth. And we decide, I can no longer stay in denial of the truth. This is glaringly obvious what drives and motivates some people. And it isn't being willing to deal with the truth of the matter, that they might have some lessons to learn in life. There's some truths that they have not incorporated into their philosophy of life that other people have learned about how to play nice with others. Other people who have grown and matured themselves in ways that some of these other people haven't. And we see the truth of it. Life's about learning lessons. Not everybody has learned those lessons. So, with the adjacent possibilities, the temple path, the anxiety, the first chakra, which is like our core foundational level, the fifth chakra, Taurus energy of the speaking our truth, all tied up, and the door to spirit. High vibe people decide, you know, I would look at the temple path as like I'm going to listen to my intuition. It does, in the anxiety card, cause me to get up in my head and have some fears and insecurities about the situation. But in my Taurus energy, at a core foundational level, which actually the first chakra, those Aries energy, I am motivated and inspired in my Aries Taurus energy to speak my truth and to take action in truth and love. That being in a relationship with other people, I want to go through that door to spirit. I want to become all I can be. I've lived my life a certain way. I've learned certain life lessons. I'm ready to go to the next phase of life to learn more lessons that are aligned with my truth and my dreams and what I believe is possible, and love and justice and fairness. And I could have some people that in my life who have a lot of anxiety emotionally, maybe just about speaking their truth. Well, I can only move forward with people who speak their truth to their own emotional nature. We've all got to get out of our own shadowy nature to free ourselves from it. Are we willing to stand up to our own shadow nature, work through our own fears and insecurities to move forward in life differently? And some people, their shadow nature emotionally, in their Taurus energy, keeps, winning the debate and the argument within themselves. No. We need to have a certain image and status. We are maybe jealous and envious, but these things are important to us. And we don't think we need to see the truth. Because, our shadow energy is represented by the devil. We have lessons to learn. When we aren't seeing the truth and we have lessons to learn about truth and love and justice and fairness, and we go off path, we're probably going to have the devil show up in our life. People in our life who are happy that we live our life that way. And the devil tries to convince us, you don't got to do that. You don't got to heal. You don't have to do life any differently. You don't have to get out of your pride and ego. This is just and fair for us to live our life this way. We want these things. We want to indulge in these things. We should be deferred to. We are the most important person. Even when we're in relationships with people trying to work to a common goal, we're still the most important person. Well, it's one thing to respect yourself and listen to yourself, but to think that you're the most important person? Some of these people are envious of people who have hope and faith and belief in their dreams because they don't. Their fears and insecurities stop them from speaking their truth, living their authentic life. They conform to the world. And then they probably have other people in their life, whether those are friends, family members, romantic interests, that encourage them to keep living their life like that. We have this dualistic nature. We have different people in our life. Some people are loving and encouraging, and some people are motivated and inspired by those people in their life, just like their own loving nature. They're more inspired to listen to their loving nature and other loving people in their life who encourage them to do this work within themselves, to love and believe in themselves. But we also can have people in our life and our own shadow nature that tells us, oh, let's just live life the way we do it. We don't have to heal. We don't have to change. That takes work and effort. I don't want to have to put in the work and effort to deal with the truth of things. I don't want to speak my truth. I might not want to be more authentically myself in the world. I'd rather hide behind my ego. I'd rather go make my life about me or indulgence or money or materialism. I'm sure that will make me happy. And they lose the battle within themselves. And then they have other people in their life that are happy they live their life that way, either because those people like controlling them, and it's someone in their life who they could view as very stable or grounded or mature or something, or someone who's willing to be in a relationship with them living their life like that, or just a friend or family member who lives their life like that. And they think that's just and fair, and those people seem to live their life. And maybe maybe they know those people wouldn't like it if they were to go live their authentic life. And high vibe energy is about becoming independent of people. Flying the nest. I want to live my own life. I have my own hopes and dreams. And they might have people in their life that try to manipulate and control them to keep living their life the way they live their life. And if those people were to go live their authentic life, the people in their life would be envious and jealous of them. And maybe they'd turn their back on them. You can go. If you go and live your life differently than I live my life, then I'm going to turn my back to you. And then we have the second chakra. And up here, we have the first chakra. So some people can be very attached at a core foundational level with some people in their life. If they were to detach from being in more codependent energy with them at a core foundational level and going and living their authentic life and speaking their truth. I want to go live my own authentic life. You have the free will to live your life the way you want. But for some people, they're not willing to do that. To become, they'd always probably planned and kind of in codependent energy to have those people going on this journey with them, but they have people in their life that are like, I'm unwilling to go to the next phase of life. This is how we should live life. If you go live your life differently, well, then we're going to turn our back on you. And so it kind of reminds me of that Bible verse that they say at weddings. They use the word man, but in the Bible it can just be human beings. But something like a man should, separate from their mother and father and cleave to their wife. And our egoic nature, which can be represented by man, needs to detach from being in more codependent energy, looking to be in relationships with someone to make those people be like our mother or father in our voice, in our life, and be more independent to be our own best mother, father, coach voice in our own head. And some people aren't very independent. They're still very codependent on the world or other people in their life that they align with for their main sense of maybe feeling emotionally stable and grounded within themselves. And the same way people do that with the world. I look to the world to, I don't want to live my authentic life. I want to conform to the world. I don't want the world to judge me. And then the King of Swords can be like our public politician persona. I want everybody to view me this certain way. I want to have this certain status and image. I don't want to go on this journey of living a more authentic life. I don't want to have to speak my truth. I would rather make my life about this. So some people in your life that you wanted to have move forward with you, and at a core foundational level, you can have love for them, whether that's your adult child, sibling, parents, a romantic interest, or friend. But if you feel like someone could be trying to use the love that you have for them to keep you stuck from becoming all you can be, growing to your full potential, trying to appeal to your more worldly nature, your want to be in a relationship, your want to have a job, even though it's not, by worldly standards, it would look good, but it's just not aligned with your truth, and they're not willing to move forward with you in this more, kind of like, I will be in a relationship with you if I don't have to speak the truth. Let's get back in a relationship, but I don't want to have to speak the truth. I also don't want to step out of my comfort zone and look at life from a higher truth and justice. Let's make our life about this more worldly truth and justice, that it's just and fair for us to live our life like this. It's kind of more about us, kind of more about our indulgence, more about our ego. There is no higher truth or justice to aspire to. We're not here for any other purpose. Well, for one, we're here to grow to our full potential. For one, we have unique talent, skills, and interests that were given to us as a gift. You know, look at all the things that human beings have created since the time of caveman days. Those are people who are willing to step out of their comfort zone and listen to their intuition. And it helped humanity evolve. Being more authentically ourselves helps other people see other people who are more authentically themselves than people who are making their life about conforming to the world or themselves or their ego or their image. Being petty, envious, jealous. We need more loving people in the world. Love is what helps things, you know, ever since we've been small children, being in relationships with people who are authentic and loving and warm and encouraging is where we thrive. And to be someone who's like, well, no, I don't want to do that. It's kind of more about me. It's kind of more about my wants, my needs, my lusts, my greed, my pride, my ego, and me trying to compete, because shadowy energy is about competing with all the other people in the world to look like I have more. Look how victorious and successful I am. So they live at this more base nature of worldliness. Being enlightened is about seeing through the illusion of the world and our own beastly, selfish, prideful, egotistical nature to realize that love was the answer. And that we were given these gifts that make us our emotional nature, our creative nature, our sexual nature, our intuitive, passionate nature, our mind, our imagination. So we wouldn't just be an animal or like a computer. And we could really help contribute to the world. The more authentic we are, the more we treat other people the way we like to be treated, the more, you know, high vibe Taurus is being a spiritual leader in the world. Some people don't want to do that. I'm more about the things of the world, man. I don't want to go to that next level. Okay? And some people are. I can have love for you, wish you the best, but I'm moving on, aligned with what my truth is, and you can have your truth and live your life the way it is, and I'll maybe see you at Christmas. And the high vibe people have healed a layer anyway, because we have all these lessons learned throughout our life. They've seen some truth. You know, again, like this guy holding a rock. You know, this looks like a crystal, a clear crystal. If you hold a clear crystal up to the sun, that's when you see how magnificent and amazing it is. And that there's so much more to it than you could have realized. And it's kind of like the world. Making our life about the world. It's kind of like we're a rock. Oh, we're just part of the world. We got to make our life about the world. You know, and the devil is about trying to make us think our life is just about the world and about us and our ego and our image and indulging ourselves. We had such a much more higher purpose here. We could be people who reveal how much more there is to us than people realize. Our unique talent, skills, and interests that make us unique. How we can use the gifts we were given to help heal other people. So we have more healed people in the world. And some people are like, no, it's just about me. I'm only worried about myself. It's like, okay. So some people are moving forward. They do have their fears and insecurities, but they're focusing on truth and love to guide the decisions that they make. Not their fear, not their insecurity, not their pride and ego or lust or greed. Everybody has to make this free will decision for themselves, and that's what some people know, and they're concerned if some of the people in their life are going to make that decision. But we've all got lessons to learn, and sometimes, you know, we got to learn lessons the hard way. But we all know those things about the devil that we make so important in our life that we think will make us happy. Sometimes it gets a hold on us And it kind of traps and imprisons us. And it can be very hard to free ourselves. And then, we have to be able to get out of our ego to admit that maybe I did have lessons to learn. Maybe I made a mistake. And for some people, that's not part of their vocabulary because some of them are very prideful and egotistical. And they have this certain way of viewing relationships that they think is just and fair. And it's always to be bossy or controlling or immature or prideful or egotistical, or that they should be deferred to. Well, maybe they'll get in a relationship with someone like themselves and find out what it's like to be in a relationship with someone like themselves. High vibe people are like, this isn't my truth. And though I have fears of moving forward, I'm going to move forward anyway. Because I have dropped some of the baggage. I did deal with some of my pain, my heartbreak, my fears, my insecurities. And I realized the answer of the things I could have been jealous and envious of other people, it starts within me at my core foundation. What is my truth? To speak my truth, to take action in my truth, to walk the talk, high vibe Taurus energy, to heal. And the truth sets us free. What's coming up for the high vibe people they might not see coming up? The Star, the Strength card, the Three of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. Why? Because of the Ten of Swords. The Tens in Tarot can talk about completing a cycle. And when we complete a cycle and we do all this work within ourselves, have our dreams, temper our fears, our insecurities, and our ego, put in this work and effort to learn the lessons we were meant to learn, to heal, to grow, to mature ourselves, to deal with the truth, to become more independent, to know our worth and value, become independent of old ways of living our life that at one time we thought that was the way to live life. We were living the dream, and it wasn't, it backstabbed and betrayed us, and we see the truth. Okay, I was wrong. I'm willing to get out of my ego and humble myself to admit I had lessons to learn. And because I want my dreams to come into reality, I'm willing to put in this work and effort to invest in knowing my worth and value and loving and believing in myself and becoming more independent of things that at one time manipulated me, that sabotaged my life and backstabbed and betrayed me. If I want my dreams to come into reality, I need to emotionally invest in the truth. And high vibe people are going to now be investing in other high vibe people who have learned these same lessons in life, who aren't manipulated by some old things that some of these people aren't manipulated by. You know, at any given time in our life, we have our fears and our insecurities and our self-limiting beliefs, but we do learn certain lessons, and then we don't repeat those patterns anymore. Oh, I shouldn't be bossy and controlling. Oh, I shouldn't be prideful and egotistical. Oh, I shouldn't be immature. You know, we learn these lessons in life, and we want to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as us. Other people who learn some of those same lessons and are independent of those old ways of being, because they've realized how it sabotages their life, and they have hope and faith and belief in love. The truth is love. High vibe people are doing that within themselves. They're investing their time, energy, and effort into other people in the world who are on the same page as them, offering love and encouragement to people in their life, but they continue to move forward. I'm moving forward in truth and love. If that causes you concern or you're not there yet, you know, again, I'll see you at Christmas and I'll see you out in the world. Are you someone I'm going to date or marry? No. You know, and we've learned to listen to our intuition. When we meet people, we can have love for them. We can be attracted to them. We could want to be in a relationship with them. But now we're no longer sabotaging ourselves by getting in a relationship with people who show us that they haven't learned some of those lessons. Until you free yourself from those things, you know, you're someone I know. But I'm going to keep investing my time, energy, and effort into people and getting in relationships and investing more of my time, energy, and effort into people in my life who are on the same page as me. What's coming up? And I think as you do that, other people know that you're doing that. And if their dream was to operate more from ego, well, they're going to be left back there because you're moving on. If they want to move forward with you, they're going to have to do this work to see the truth and heal from whatever stops them from being more independent in the world themselves. And offer you a cup of love to move forward with you. And if they don't, then there's someone who's going to be left behind. And there are going to be some people who aren't going to come with you. And there's going to be other people who are jealous and envious of you because you're not manipulated by things they're manipulated by. And those people might purposely try to do things to backstab and betray you and stop you. They might want to be someone who pops up in your life who tries to get you to do a relationship with them and stop you from moving forward with the people and in life the way you're meant to move forward in life. I want to be the next person to be in a relationship with you and indulge in a relationship with you. And it might put you up in your head for a bit. And the swords can talk about communication. The Three of Pentacles can working together with people. The Ace of Pentacles can be kind of investing in someone. And you get to know people to find out what their truth is. And if while you're meeting people or people popping up in your life, you've learned to listen to your intuition. You're going to temper your more worldly nature, to talk to people, get to know people, offer people love and encouragement. And if they are willing to speak their truth about their own fears and insecurities, and if they are willing to have some hope and faith and belief and love, and you believe that you're on the same page, those are people you'll move forward with. And if they're not, those will be people that are just trying to stop you, because the devil tries to stop people from giving birth to new things in the world and aligning with their more hopeful, believing, loving nature. There's someone who's trying to stop you from loving and believing in yourself and probably tempting you in your pride or your ego or your lust or your greed or your want just to have a job or be in a friendship or a relationship, And it's like, depending on where you're at in your life. And it's like, I'm not willing to get into something and with people that have already been illuminated to the truth that you have certain ways of viewing life or relationships or ways of acting that aren't aligned with my truth. I would just be sabotaging myself. And I don't think you have my best interest at heart. If you had my best interest at heart, you would speak the truth. And you'd be more just and fair and authentic. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone just because somebody walked away from them and they're want to be in a relationship with that person and they're using me to try to backstab that person, to manipulate them and make them feel hurt. It's like, that's not why I want to be in a relationship with someone. You have to really be healed and independent of some people in your life. Otherwise, until you do that, and you have worked through all this within yourself, I'm moving on. What's coming up for some people who might have a more worldly or shadowy Taurus energy that they don't see coming up? The Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the King of Wands, and the reason is because of the Seven of Wands. Well, for one thing, some people who were trying to manipulate and control some high vibe people, what they didn't see coming is that the high vibe people would be inspired to stand up for themselves because they have a dream they want to have come into reality. The Five of Swords is Aquarius energy, and they are motivated and inspired to not give up on their dreams. Yes, might I want these things? Yes. Am I willing to give up my dreams for those things? No. You have your idea of what the dream life is and the dream relationship is, and I have my idea of the dream life and the dream relationship. And it's not how you want to live your life. And though it causes me mental conflict, I'm willing to take that inspired action to move forward and not take action out of my pride, my ego, my competitive nature, my worldly nature, to be inspired by truth and love. Leaving behind people who are maybe kind of unbudging. You know, here we have the Ace of Pentacles. When we get done with the Ten of Pentacles, like we've kind of lived our life, a certain phase of life, just like the Ten of Swords, then it's time to detach from that way of viewing life at a core foundational level. Like I was 15, now it's time to be like an 18-year-old. And later it will be time to be like a 21-year-old. We're meant to go through these phases of life, but some people got to a certain phase of life and said, I'm good. And that's how they want to keep living their life. Unbudging. I am not willing to let go of anything about the way I have lived my life, to step out of my comfort zone, to face my fears, to go to the next phase of life, to be a student of life, to be more independent of this former way of viewing life or living life. And the high vibe people saw the truth of it. You're unwilling to incorporate anything new into how you view life. Or whatever fears and insecurities you have, or prideful or egotistical or manipulative or defensive or whatever ways of living life, you're not willing to work through any of those to let go of them. And that's how you want to keep living your life. And that's not how I want to live my life. I want to face my fears. I want to work through my baggage. I want to drop some of the baggage to face my fears, to move forward in life differently, just growing to my full potential. And they want to keep defending living life the way they live it, or this friend group, or this family dynamic, or their original family in a shadowy way, and maybe just a more worldly, egoic view of life, and unwilling to accept that there's any other purpose to being on this planet than what the world tells them it is. Because if they were to do that, then it's not just only about them, and they have mental conflict because they kind of think they're the boss. That there is no higher truth. I think they're going to learn some hard lessons in life because they're not the boss. Other people do listen to their intuition. Other people do have hope and faith and belief in love. And these people think that they should maybe be able to be bossy and controlling of everyone in a relationship. They're the highest authority, like a dictator. And other people are like, you are not the boss of me. If I'm in a workplace or a relationship, we're supposed to work together cooperatively. Not where someone kind of shadowy thinks that it's their way or the highway. That if they say something's just and fair, it's just and fair when it's not. Or that it should be more about them than everybody is working together for a common goal. Because again, they could be kind of egotistical and think, I'm the shining star of this whole operation. I just know, recently I just heard about a local company around here. Something happened and like, they learned a hard lesson. Pretty much everybody quit. When you don't think that you need to communicate with other people and keep people informed and like, oh, they'll just put up with it and, you know, something, everybody quit. It could really cause a lot of, I mean, that's how businesses can fail. And relationships can fail and family dynamics can fail. So they didn't expect that high vibe people would stand up for themselves and stand up for what they believe in. Because again, they could know that these people love them, and these people could be very loving people, but those people are speaking their truth. I am moving forward in this way. Are you coming with, or are you not? And for some of them, they're not. I want to live life the way I live it. You look at life differently. You have a different idea of how you want to operate in relationships, and I'm not willing to do that. Kind of interesting. Down here we have Libra energy, and here we have Aries energy, and they're on opposite signs of the zodiac wheel, and we kind of go out to these extremes, I believe, to learn lessons in life. And there's some people right now that are going out to an extreme in living more from their mind than their heart, and other people have kind of got balance, because in high vibe Libra energy, represented by the scales of justice, they've realized that if they live from their more defensive nature, or their more practical, logical nature, or their passionate, fiery nature, it's going to throw their life out of balance. And when we're doing it, we think it's just and fair. But other people have realized it causes me mental conflict, and I need to get more balance within myself. So heal living more from my mind with my creative, inspired, passionate nature, and kind of having victory over the battle between the two to be more balanced. So that, yes, there are these things of the world that I want to have, but I also want to be free to give and receive love. I want to be in relationships with people who are loving and warm and creative and inspired, not just who am I passionate about or what makes logical, practical sense, finding a balance between the two. Another thing these people might not see coming is they right now might be trying to get someone to be in a relationship with them or marry them. And some of the people they're in a relationship with could have, a problem with being in a relationship with them. And I think it gets harder and harder the older people get. Some people want to repeat some old patterns of ways of being when they were like 21 and 25, and they think everyone else is going to go along with it. Well, this is what we did when we were like 21 and 25. It's like, yeah, but we've all been in relationships with people, and we've learned these lessons in our life, and we know our worth and value, and we've went off on these life experiences and learned lessons too. And like, you want us to go back to an old way of living life? I don't want to go back to an old way of living life. Other people have grown and healed and matured, and some of these people who stay stagnant, not willing to budge, could have a harder time finding people who want to do a relationship the way they want to do it. It's like people stuck in a 1960s time warp. It's like, we've moved on. And for some people, they just wanted to indulge themselves in relationships, thinking, oh, that's living the dream. I'm just going to go indulge myself in the world. And then they see other people moving forward, they're either in loving, nurturing relationships with independent people, and they're not willing to get in a relationship with this person, or other people know their worth and value and aren't willing to indulge this person in their ego. So I think high vibe people, the shadowy people, are trying to probably manipulate some people. And the people that they're trying to manipulate kind of have some mental conflict about it. They kind of like to be in it for various reasons and could love them. But I think they've already been there. And they could know that some of these people kind of are defensive, maybe a little cold, a little detached, not very loving, nurturing people, maybe are wanting to have a new beginning, but maybe somebody also won't move forward with them to the next level of a relationship until they speak some truth, maybe about something in the past, like why didn't that other relationship work out? Why did you become single from that relationship? And if these people aren't willing, or they don't feel like they're telling them the truth, they could move on from them. I think the high vibe people don't have a problem admitting, I had lessons to learn, I made mistakes. They're not operating from their ego. They're willing to speak their truth. And some of those people have already spoken their truth to some people in their life. And some of the people they could have spoken to are trying to work through, did they really learn these lessons? Or didn't they? Am I willing to be in a relationship with this person, or am I not? And I think the people that are meant to move forward with you, who do listen to their intuition, will move forward with you. And the people who maybe aren't, we just got to accept the truth that they won't be moving forward with us. And it could be God's way of telling us that, maybe you learned everything you were meant to learn from some of those people, or maybe they're really not on the same page as you. So whatever the case is, we keep moving forward in truth and love. And if some people, I think the people who had some lessons to learn, who still have some lessons to learn, might be trying to get in a new relationship, but they could be too prideful or egotistical to admit that maybe I had some lessons to learn. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe when things caused me conflict in the relationship, instead of making the free will choice to invest in truth and love and having hope and faith and belief, maybe I got up in my head. Maybe I figured I could just go get in a relationship with someone else, or maybe I was bossy and controlling, and they're unwilling to tell the truth. Well, other people listen to their intuition, and some of the people in their life aren't going to maybe move forward in a relationship with them because they don't feel like they're telling them the truth. We can keep repeating some patterns, and some people never learn the lesson. Get out of your ego and admit the truth that you are a fallible human being who made mistakes. And then maybe people will be willing to work with you. So there you go, Taurus. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.